Hello and welcome to Rev Wheels, and this here is the new Volkswagen Tiguan R line. Now at this moment I don't want to know how it looks, how it handles, how comfortable it is. This is the R line. Now the R line badge is to Volkswagen what M Sport is to BMW. Now it might not be the hallowed badge like the GTI, but R line still means fast. So how quick is the Tiguan R line? And to see how fast it really goes, we're going to pitch it against this. Now this might look like a normal old Honda Civic. I don't think it looks normal. It does look riced up, but it's not normal. It's anything but normal. This Honda Civic is turbocharged and it's putting out well over 200 horsepower, I think, which makes it a worthy competitor for the Tiguan R line. Now, the Tiguan R line, I think it does a 0 to 100 kilometers per hour time in just over 7 seconds. So can the Tiguan R line beat this turbocharged Honda Civic, or is it going to be the other way around? Let's have a look. Ready. I got you this time.
In sports mode, no?
Yeah, I put sport mode, but launch was better. Now that was an exciting race. We thought the Tiguan R line would absolutely demolish the Honda, but it was closer than we thought. But the Tiguan R line's 4Motion and launch control to the rescue, and I think the Tiguan beat the Civic by the narrowest of margins, basically. Now that we're done with the really exciting part, let's get to the exciting part, the review. So SUVs in India, now they branched out into multiple segments. So you have the big daddies, the old school ladder frame SUVs, you have the monocoque SUVs, which are more car-like to drive, then you have the compact SUVs, then you also have hatchbacks masquerading as SUVs. So where does the Tiguan R line sit? Now we think the Tiguan R line sits in the performance SUV category, because this isn't your standard Tiguan, this is the Tiguan R line. So what is the new Tiguan R line like? Let's take a closer look. Now the new third gen Tiguan looks anything unlike the previous generation car, which was a lot more boxier. The new car is all about sleek lines and looking fast, even standing still. At the front, you get none of the intimidating grille. Instead, just this slim grille connecting to those stylish headlamps. The highlight is this connected DRL, of course. Slim grille means a massive air dam area, and this air dam is huge and gives a sporty, aggressive look. Now talking about the sides, the highlight on the sides are these excellent, sexy looking 19-inch rims, which really highlight the overall profile of the Tiguan. Now let's move to the rear. Starting from the bottom, you get the mesh area just like in the front with a chrome outline. Going up, the lovely tail lights are connected with this LED strip, and you get this very sexy looking spoiler that completes the Tiguan's sporty look. What do you think of the Tiguan R line's design? Do let us know in the comments below. Now step inside the cabin and you're welcomed by these fantastic looking seats. Now these are sport seats and you get fixed headrests on it. And as you can see, these contours, they're not just to make the seats look beautiful. They're to hold you in place when you're really driving the Tiguan R line hard. Now some of you might find this a little too tight if you have a bigger frame. But then even then, I think they're pretty comfortable, and the whole purpose of them is to hold you in place when you're driving the car really hard in corners. Now talking further about the seats, you also get extra under thigh support, as you can see. and the adjustability is manual. You really have to do a lot of work to get to the right driving position, and I think electric seats would have been a very good thing in this car at this price tag. You also get heated seats, but you don't get any ventilation. Now these are the after effects of the Tiguan R-Line being a CBU. You also get heating function in the steering wheel, which I think you will use when you head for a trip to Ladakh or if you live in the north. Now, apart from that, I think the cabin is fantastic. You've got a lot of soft touch materials. You've got this nice big 15-inch screen in front of you, which has all the controls. You've got a nice digital console rather, and this ambient lighting across the dashboard. I think it just looks fantastic. Now let's check out the rear bench. Now talking about the rear bench, I think this is a spacious place to be. It feels quite airy because of that huge panoramic sunroof. You've got plenty of legroom. Now this front seat is adjusted according to my driving, so I've got plenty of legroom here. Headroom is not an issue. I mean, you've got a panoramic sunroof, and even if you're 6 feet tall, I think you'll still manage with plenty of headroom. So that's a good thing. I think seating 3 people should be decently comfortable, but of course, the middle passenger will get a raw deal because of that hard backrest and this short seat scope. Now you also get this center armrest with these very funky cup holders. I think that's a very neat touch. Now these seats, they can be moved fore and aft, but you cannot adjust the backrest angle. Now moving this front or back will give you additional space for your luggage, but that's about it. Apart from that, you also get your own climate control. You can adjust the temperature. You cannot adjust the blower though. 3-zone climate control. I think overall this is a great place to be, even if you consider the Tiguan R-Line for as a chauffeur driven choice. Now talking about the boot, something that is sorely missed is a power tailgate. Now that is something you would expect in a car in this price bracket. But the Tiguan R-Line makes up for it with a humongous 652-litre boot space, which can be expanded to 1650 litres by folding the seats. I think that's big enough to swallow a house. Talking about the features, the Tiguan R-Line is pretty loaded. You get a 10.25-inch instrument console, a massive 15-inch infotainment system with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and an 8-speaker music system, 3-zone climate control, front seats with massage function, heads-up display, wireless charger for 2 phones, panoramic sunroof, and more. On the safety front, apart from level 2 ADAS, you also get 9 airbags, ABS with EBD and ESP, hill ascent and descent assist, rear disc brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, and it also has a 5-star Euro NCAP crash test rating. However, between all this, somehow a 360-degree camera was missed. Also, you do not get a power tailgate. Instead, you get sensors all around to help you park. Now let's talk about the engine and performance, because that's where all the action is with the Tiguan R-Line. So you get a 2-litre TSI petrol engine. It's a 4-cylinder engine, of course. That makes 204 bhp and 320 Newton meters of torque. Now all that power is transferred to all 4 wheels, depending on the situation, of course, via the 7-speed twin-clutch DSG gearbox. Performance is extremely satisfactory. You immediately know this is a 200 bhp car with the amount of performance available on tap. In sport mode, it feels urgent and immediate. The gear shifts feel quicker, and it also holds the revs longer before shifting. All this in the real world means extremely quick overtakes and plenty of throttle control, because you will end up getting flashed by a speed camera. Driven in normal mode, it's like the Tiguan R-Line has stepped out of its racing suit and is now chilling in pajamas. It feels nice and linear and still has enough power when you need it. The refinement is great from the TSI motor, and what adds to it is the noise insulation inside the cabin, which is superb. Overall, the Tiguan R-Line offers almost all the performance you will ever need from an SUV at that price tag and will also be an excellent daily. Let's talk about the ride and handling. Now, this is the third generation Tiguan and it gets an all-new chassis and it's based on the MQB Evo platform. You also get the latest generation DCC, basically the dynamic chassis control, and a vehicle dynamics manager, which basically controls all the diff locks. Now, all this electronics is there to basically make this big SUV handle well really, and at the same time make it comfortable too. What you notice immediately is agility. The Tiguan R-Line isn't a compact hatch, but it feels like one. It turns in quickly, the steering feels nice and direct, weighs up nicely too. Put it in the corners and the Tiguan corners almost flat. And with the confidence of all-wheel drive, you can just keep pushing without worrying about understeer or oversteer. Of course, no one can defy physics and eventually the Tiguan will understeer, but only when the corner is too tight and you're pushing it really hard. Overall, the handling is fantastic for an SUV. Coming to the ride quality, the Tiguan R-Line is set up on the stiffer side. The 45 section tires and the stiff setup means you can't just ride over bad patches. While the smooth bumps aren't a problem thanks to the good damping, the sharp bumps feel crashy and the thuds filter in. So you need to be a little careful on the really bad bumps. 19-inch wheels look great but have their downsides. Overall, the Tiguan R-Line classifies as a proper driver's SUV and does justice to its R-Line badge. Alright, now talking about the conclusion. Let's take a look at performance SUVs across segments. So at the bottom of the rung, you have the Hyundai Creta N-Line and the Kia Seltos GT line. You also have the Scorpio N-Line, the Mahindra Scorpio N-Line, which in its petrol avatar makes about 200 bhp, but that's pretty far from what you call a performance SUV. Moving higher, you have the BMW X1. That car handles beautifully, SUV rather, but then it's significantly down on power when you compare the petrol variant. Then you have the Audi Q3. Now the Q3, it shares much of its stuff with the Tiguan R-Line. It's got similar levels of horsepower, performance and handling. But then it's significantly higher when it comes to price. And the lower models of the Q3 don't offer the same spec or the features that you get in the Tiguan R-Line. You also have the Mercedes-Benz GLA. Now again, it's priced significantly higher and it doesn't have the same levels of performance that you get in the Tiguan R-Line. So as you can see, the Tiguan R-Line has chalked out a niche for itself pretty well. I mean, if you're looking for an SUV with plenty of performance, good looks and a decent level of kit, I think the Tiguan R-Line makes a strong case for itself. What would you compare the Tiguan R-Line with and what would you buy instead of this beautiful Volkswagen? Do let us know in the comments below.